When people look at India today, many see progress, more skyscrapers, tech hubs, startups, Bollywood, cricket, spices, chai, great stuff. But there's something deeper going on, something less obvious. India is quietly laying down a strategy behind the scenes that could reshape the global economy in ways few are fully grasping. I want to walk you through that, my friends, because understanding this tells you a lot about the future and where you want to be standing. First off, India's not acting like a newcomer anymore. For decades, the narrative was that India was catching up, huge population, underdevelopment, lacking infrastructure, lagging manufacturing. But I see the shift. India has begun to build its foundation with deliberate intent. The roads, the highways, the ports, the airports, they are not just to reduce traffic or open more lanes, they are arteries for trade, logistics, integration. The updated power grids, renewable energy projects, those aren't just because of climate activism. They are investments in ensuring that India never suffers logjams in energy that stall its factories. India wants its engines running full speed, no sputtering, and that's smart. Then there's education and demographic dividend. You know me, I love training people. You invest in people, you win. India has over 1.5 billion people, many young. Instead of letting that become a burden, India is turning it into strength. More universities, more technical training institutes, more coding schools, even AI and machine learning classrooms. They're producing engineers, scientists, technicians, entrepreneurs. The youth are hungry, and more important, they're being trained in skills that are globally relevant. Not just local trades, coding, biotech, pharmaceuticals, aerospace, data analytics. That gives India leverage. Also, don't forget digital infrastructure. The Unified Payments Interface UPI, Aadhaar, massive fiber networks, broadband reaching into rural areas, mobile internet penetration exploding. All this builds a kind of backbone most people underestimate. When digital identity is secure, payments are seamless, the rural economy can connect with global markets. When you can deliver financial inclusion, health records, education via digital platforms, you reduce friction, you reduce corruption, you reduce inefficiencies. India is quietly building that frictionless environment. Another thing, India is pushing its manufacturing, not just software and services. They want factories, they want supply chains. They are investing in semiconductor fabs, defense manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, textile, automotive. The Make in India initiative is much more than a slogan. It's a signal that India doesn't want to be entirely dependent on imports of crucial goods. They want resilience. And in a world where supply chains can be disrupted by pandemics, trade wars, natural disasters, having domestic capacity matters a lot. It gives bargaining power. It gives stability. Don't overlook foreign investment and trade diplomacy. India is signing agreements, entering partnerships, attracting global firms not just to invest but to locate the center of their operations. India is offering incentives, tax breaks, infrastructure, land support. The goal is to make India the platform for markets in Asia, Africa, and beyond. Geographically, India sits at a crossroads: Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Asia. It trades both with its neighbors and with many thousands of miles across. Those diplomatic relationships in energy, defense, culture, are soft power leveraged for economic gain. You see also India's global health and pharmaceutical ambitions. India is often called the pharmacy of the world, producing generic medicines, vaccines. They are scaling up. When there's demand across Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, India can supply. That gives tremendous influence, not just in commerce but in goodwill and diplomatic weight. The ability to say we helped you when you needed us builds trust. And trust is currency. Then there are resource strategies. India cannot produce everything inside its borders, but it is shrewd about securing resource supplies, rare earths, key minerals, energy sources. Where India cannot produce, it forms partnerships, acquires stakes, ensures diversity of suppliers. It is investing in green energy, solar, wind, hydro, and exploring nuclear. That helps with sustainability but also with energy independence. Because power is everything. Factories, homes, hospitals, data centers all need reliable electricity. If you control or reliably source your energy, you reduce vulnerabilities. What's more, India is embracing innovation. The startup ecosystem is booming. Think of it as muscle building. Cheap costs, huge markets, young risk takers. Innovation hubs in cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Ahmedabad, these are all over. They are not just copying, they are pioneering, especially in fintech, agritech, cleantech. Consider how many solutions for water scarcity, for farm efficiency, for rural health are emerging from India. Those aren't just domestic solutions, they can be exported. And when you have cost-effective, scalable innovations, you can undercut other players, gain market share globally. Cultural power counts too. Indian film, music, cuisine, yoga, languages, they travel. Diasporas across the world carry Indian culture, ideas, demand. Products with Made in India labels benefit from pride, recognition. When people feel connected, you get soft loyalty, they prefer your goods, buy your movies, accept your leadership. That's part of India's strategy, even if not always spelled out. Let's talk about geopolitical alignment. India has been forging alliances, yes, but not just military. Trade, tech, research partnerships. It's balancing relationships with US, EU, East Asia, Middle East, and increasingly with African nations. It seeks to be integrated enough to share in global order but independent enough to chart its own course. That gives it flexibility. If one alliance is under strain, another opens. If trade tensions flare, India can lean toward others. That resilience is crucial. Now what's hidden? What many don't see is the long game. It's not just to become the world's third largest economy, which is happening. It's to position India as indispensable in global networks, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, digital infrastructure, climate solutions. India wants to supply for the world, not just produce for itself. It wants to set standards, norms, not just obey them. Regulatory standards, environmental standards, data privacy. If India is part of shaping those, then others must adapt. That gives deeper control, or at least influence. India also benefits from learning from mistakes of others. Watching China's experience, both the rise and the backlash, India adjusts. Seeing where global over-reliance on a single source caused breakdowns. Observing where domestic inequality, environmental strain, debt crisis undermined growth. India is trying to avoid those pitfalls, investing in renewable energy, making urban planning smarter, balancing growth with sustainability. That is much harder, but if you get it right, the payoff is enormous. And India is not afraid of investing for the long haul. Big infrastructure takes years. Cultural influence even more. Education requires decades. And sometimes you don't see results quickly. But India is enduring. It is willing to build schools, invest in broadband, deploy solar farms in dusty deserts, coax investments where returns are measured in 10 or 20 years. That long-term mindset is rare in politics, in corporations. Most want quick wins. But the biggest conquests of history, Roman roads, centuries-old universities, naval power, those are built with patience. Now yes, challenges remain. Corruption, bureaucratic inertia, inequality, environmental degradation, urban crowding, water scarcity. India has many dragons to slay. But the sheer scale of opportunity coupled with strategic thinking means the momentum favors India. The world is changing, digital transformation, shifting trade lines, climate urgency, population shifts. Many nations fear disruption. India is riding it, trying to be a cause of positive disruption, not a victim. So what does this mean for the global economy? It means supply chains are shifting. It means more goods made there, more services delivered from there, more research and innovation rooted there, more cultural exports from there. It means global standards will start to reflect India's preferences. It means that where earlier power was more concentrated in Western capitals, increasingly New Delhi, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Hyderabad will be major nodes. It means global competition will intensify, but India wants not just to compete but to lead. Imagine 10 years from now, Indian manufactured products dominating not just in neighboring Asia or Africa but in Europe, Latin America. Indian tech platforms powering emerging markets. Indian green energy solutions exported globally. Indian vaccine capacity being called upon in every health crisis. That vision is no longer fantasy. It is actionable. The decisions are being made today: where to build highways, where to grant licenses, where to educate youth, where to invest in solar farms. So I tell you, India's hidden plan to dominate the global economy isn't some vague mystery, it's pure method. It's a blueprint, clear and precise, drawn carefully on many fronts, on the highways that stretch across vast landscapes, connecting cities and villages, in university labs buzzing with
Young minds eager to innovate in startup garages where the next big idea is born, in factories humming with machinery producing everything from smartphones to pharmaceuticals, and in the diplomatic corridors where decisions are quietly shaping the future of trade and cooperation. This is not some far-off vision, it's happening right now in real time with momentum that's hard to stop. The scale of what's going on is massive. You see, India is not simply chasing growth for growth's sake. It's strategically positioning itself as a powerhouse that the entire world will have to reckon with. And the way they are doing this step by step, sector by sector, is what makes this hidden plan so powerful. It's not just about becoming a bigger economy, it's about becoming an indispensable player in the global marketplace. India is moving from being a follower to a leader, from a market to a platform, and that shift is seismic. Take a moment to think about the highways. These aren't just roads, they're lifelines. Roads that reduce transport time, that bring goods faster to market, that open new trade routes domestically and internationally. When you build efficient logistics, you lower costs, you increase competitiveness, and you invite foreign businesses to take India seriously as a manufacturing and export hub. That infrastructure investment, roads, railways, ports, airports, is the physical manifestation of India's ambition. Then the university labs and startup garages. These are the engines of innovation. India is producing millions of graduates every year, many of them in engineering, technology, and science. But education isn't just about degrees anymore. It's about research, patents, breakthroughs. Startups focused on fintech, agritech, health tech, clean tech, they are growing exponentially. These young entrepreneurs are hungry for change, and they are building solutions not only for India but for emerging markets worldwide. This innovative spirit is what will differentiate India from other nations trying to play catch-up. Factories, let's not forget them. The Make in India initiative is far more than a slogan slapped on billboards. It is a comprehensive effort to develop manufacturing capabilities that range from semiconductors to pharmaceuticals, from textiles to defense equipment. The goal is clear: India wants to produce what the world needs at competitive prices with high quality and reliability. In a world where supply chains have proven vulnerable, countries want partners they can trust. India is working hard to become that trusted partner, and in diplomatic corridors the story continues. India's foreign policy is no longer reactive, it's proactive, strategic, visionary. Partnerships are not just about military alliances but about trade, technology sharing, infrastructure development, and cultural exchanges. These diplomatic efforts open new doors for Indian goods and services to reach far-flung markets, and it creates a network of influence that will benefit India in ways beyond just economic numbers. But here's the thing: the full impact of this plan goes beyond economics. It's about shaping the rules of the game. As India integrates more deeply into global markets, it's stepping up to help set standards, regulatory, environmental, technological, that others will have to follow. This is subtle power, but power nonetheless. When you influence the rules, you influence the future. Look at how India learned from the experiences of others, especially China. India watched closely the highs and lows, the incredible growth paired with social and environmental challenges, and it is adapting, seeking a path that balances rapid growth with sustainability and equity. That balance is tricky but necessary. It shows maturity in planning, not just winning today but securing the long-term future. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. India is willing to invest time, money, and political will into building schools, creating infrastructure, expanding healthcare, and promoting renewable energy. These are investments with payoffs measured not in months but in decades. Most countries chase quick wins, but India is playing the long game, and that long-term focus is a major advantage. Of course, challenges remain: bureaucracy, corruption, inequality, environmental concerns. They're real and they're tough. But what matters is momentum. India's trajectory is upward, and the political and business leadership is focused on overcoming those hurdles. With the world facing disruption and uncertainty, from climate change to geopolitical shifts, India's rising stability and growing influence will be a beacon. So what does this all mean for the global economy? It means a fundamental reshaping is underway. Supply chains will shift toward India. More goods will be made there, more services delivered from there. Innovation will flow from Indian labs and startups to global markets. Indian cultural influence through media, cuisine, technology, and diaspora will grow stronger. The global economic map will start to show India as a major hub, a center of gravity. Imagine the future: Indian-made products not only dominating neighboring markets in Asia and Africa but reaching shelves in Europe and the Americas. Indian tech companies powering emerging economies. Indian green technologies becoming the standard for sustainability worldwide. Indian pharmaceuticals ensuring health security globally. This is no dream. It's an emerging reality. And remember, the decisions that shape this future aren't happening in some faraway future. They are being made today in planning meetings, in boardrooms, in classrooms, in factory floors, and in government offices. Every new highway, every university program, every startup funded, every trade deal signed is a brick in the foundation of this new economic superpower. So I'm telling you, don't look at India as just a big country with potential anymore. See it for what it is, a rising titan with a clear plan and the determination to execute it. The world is changing, and with those changes come new rules. India knows these rules, I know these rules. And you, yes, you better know them too, because this wave is coming and you don't want to get left behind. The time is now to raise the bar. The global stage is evolving fast, the power centers are shifting, and India is ready to lead. So let's step up, keep our eyes open, and prepare to engage with this incredible transformation, because success in the coming decades won't come from standing still, it will come from adapting, from learning, and from partnering with those who shape the future. This isn't just about India's rise, it's about a new chapter for the global economy, one where opportunity is bigger, innovation is faster, and collaboration is key. So if you want to be part of the next great story of economic transformation, watch India closely, learn from it, and get ready to move with it. The game is changing, the rules are changing, and India is ready to dominate.